Why do so many ambitious men rise, only to be destroyed? Because they believe the world rewards honesty, kindness, or patience. It does not. The world rewards power, and only those who understand its harsh rules can keep it. Men think they live in a world of fairness, justice, and morality. They are wrong. In truth, power decides everything. To survive, to dominate, to rule. You must abandon illusions and embrace reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. I, Niccolo Machiavelli, shall show you the harsh rules of power that few dare to speak aloud. Listen carefully. Men live under the illusion that power will one day arrive at their door like a guest, knocking politely, waiting to be invited in. They imagine that if they work hard, play fairly, and remain patient, someone will eventually recognize their worth and reward them with authority. But the truth, my friend, is far darker. Power is never offered as a gift. It is stolen, seized, claimed with decisive hands before others even realize what is happening. Those who wait for permission to rise will rot in their waiting. Those who take, ascend. Consider history. Have you ever seen a king abdicate his throne to a loyal servant simply because that servant was virtuous? No. Thrones are taken, crowns are stolen, kingdoms are built on the ruins of hesitation. The men who shaped history were not those who waited politely. They were wolves who moved swiftly when fortune opened its jaws. They saw weakness in their rivals and did not hesitate to exploit it. They did not ask, "Is this fair?" They asked, "Is this useful?" Understand this well, opportunity is fleeting. It is like a woman of unpredictable temperament, swift in her movements, ruthless to those who hesitate. She reveals herself briefly, and only the bold dare to grab her by the hair and force her into submission. The timid, the indecisive, those who think too long, they are left with nothing. Fortune despises the hesitant man. She belongs to the bold. If you wish to rise above others, you must abandon the dream that someone will notice your talent and elevate you. The world is too consumed with its own ambition to concern itself with yours. Men are selfish, preoccupied, and blind to anything that does not serve them. If you desire power, you must seize it yourself, by your own strength, with your own cunning. Do not wait for permission, for it will never come. Authority respects only those who claim it. Imagine two men. One sits patiently, convinced that recognition will arrive. He tells himself, "If I remain loyal, if I continue to serve, surely one day I will be promoted, honored, rewarded." The years pass. Others leap ahead of him, bolder men who seize the roles he thought were destined for him. He is left with nothing but bitterness and regret. Now imagine the other man, who sees the same opportunity but acts without hesitation. He maneuvers, positions himself, takes risks others fear to take. He is accused of being ruthless, ambitious, dangerous, and yet he holds power in his hands, while the dreamers are left behind. Which man do you prefer to be? Power is prey, and you must hunt it as the lion stalks the gazelle. Do not believe for a moment that it will come to you willingly. It flees the timid, and it bends only to those who chase it with relentless hunger. To capture it, you must be alert, calculating, and merciless in your timing. The hunter who waits for the perfect moment starves. The hunter who dares, who lunges, who accepts the risk of failure, he feasts. Do not misunderstand me. I do not say that recklessness brings power. No, recklessness destroys men as swiftly as hesitation. The art lies in decisive action, guided by calculation. To seize power is to strike with precision, to move when the balance tilts in your favor. A man who acts too early invites ruin, but a man who delays too long invites obscurity. Learn to measure the moment, but when it comes, waste not a breath. Strike. You must also rid yourself of another dangerous illusion, the belief that morality grants you power. Men are not promoted because they are good. They are promoted because they are useful or feared. Goodness, when it serves no advantage, is dismissed. The virtuous man who waits for the world to reward his honesty will be passed over, again and again, until he dies forgotten. The bold man who bends morality to his advantage, who dares to act where others hesitate, he ascends. The choice is yours. Be forgotten or be feared. When rivals stand before you, know this truth. They will not hand you their position. They will not yield their influence. They will not bow because you deserve it. If you want what they have, you must take it from them. Power is a battlefield, and only those who seize ground can claim victory. The passive man is trampled, the active man commands. Always remember, authority is not given to the worthy, but to the daring. If you wish to hold power, you must master the art of deception. Men imagine they want the truth, but in reality they cannot bear it. They demand illusions, comforting lies, masks of virtue, noble words that disguise ruthless intentions. To present the world with your true nature is to hand it a weapon that will be used against you. He who reveals himself fully is already conquered, for his enemies know where to strike. But he who cloaks himself in appearances, who wears the mask of virtue, remains untouchable. Understand this. Men judge with their eyes, not with their minds. They are captivated by what they see, not by what is real. Few dig beneath the surface, and even fewer have the patience or courage to search for the truth. This is why appearances matter more than reality. If you appear honest, merciful, loyal, and just, men will believe it. They will not investigate further, for the majority of mankind is satisfied with what seems true, not with what is. Therefore, you must learn to project the image of virtue even when your actions contradict it. A prince, a ruler, a man of ambition must seem merciful, yet be ready to act cruelly. He must seem loyal, yet know how to betray when necessity demands it. He must seem honest, yet speak falsehoods when truth would weaken him. To always act in accordance with virtue is to destroy yourself, for the world is not virtuous. But to appear virtuous while using vice as a weapon in secret is the path to survival. History is filled with examples of leaders who cloaked their ruthless actions in noble disguises. Consider the conqueror who claims he fights for justice, when in reality he fights for land and wealth. His subjects praise his righteousness, while his enemies fall to his sword. Or the ruler who pretends to be merciful while quietly eliminating rivals under the cover of justice. The people rejoice at his fairness, never realizing they are witnessing carefully crafted deceit. What is condemned when done openly is celebrated when wrapped in the garments of virtue. Do not imagine that this art of deception is mere trickery reserved for the weak. No, it is the very foundation of strength. A man who acts without disguise is soon crushed by those more cunning than himself. Deception allows you to strike without warning, to maneuver without being detected, to hide your true aim until it is too late for others to stop you. The lion's strength is great, but without the fox's cunning, he falls into traps. A wise ruler is both lion and fox, powerful enough to destroy, clever enough to avoid destruction. You must ask yourself, why do so many powerful men maintain their rule despite acts of cruelty, betrayal, or tyranny? It is because they understand the value of appearances. The people see only the mask. The ruler's sins are hidden beneath spectacles of virtue. He builds monuments, speaks of justice, distributes favors. The masses, easily deceived, believe him noble. They whisper of his greatness, while his enemies are buried quietly in the earth. Do not fall into the trap of thinking that honesty will shield you. Honesty exposes you. If you speak your true intentions, men will oppose you before your plan even begins. If you show your true weakness, they will exploit it without mercy. Therefore, silence and deception must be your closest allies. Speak less than you know. Reveal only what strengthens your image. Let men see only what you wish them to see, never what lies beneath. Deception is not only protection, it is also a weapon. With it, you can lure your enemies into false security, allowing you to strike when they are unprepared. Promise loyalty, then betray at the decisive moment. Offer peace while secretly preparing for war. Smile at your rival while plotting his downfall. This duality, appearance versus reality, is the essence of power. And remember, men admire what they cannot see clearly. They respect mystery. If you are too open, you will lose their fear and their fascination. Keep them guessing. Let them believe you are wiser, stronger, more virtuous than you truly are. Wrap yourself in the cloak of mystery, and men will follow you blindly, never realizing that they are walking into the trap you have laid. The world is not ruled by truth, but by perception. To master power, you must master perception. And perception is nothing more than a well-crafted lie, polished and repeated until it becomes reality in the minds of men. Those who fail to understand this live under the mercy of those who do. Those who master it hold the keys to the throne. A ruler must ask himself one question above all: is it better to be loved or feared? Many will answer that love is greater, for love brings loyalty, affection, and trust. But those who cling to such illusions do not understand the fragile nature of men. Love is a fleeting passion, a fire that burns brightly for a moment and then dies in the wind of circumstance. Fear, however, is steady. Fear binds a man more firmly than love ever could. Consider how men behave when times are good. When the table is full of bread and wine, when peace reigns and fortune smiles, men will profess love for their ruler. They will sing praises, swear loyalty, and declare eternal devotion. But the moment hardship arrives, when hunger sets in, when danger looms, when the ruler demands sacrifice, love dissolves like mist at dawn. The same men who swore devotion will betray, abandon, or even rise against him. For men are selfish, driven by their own interests, and their affection is only as strong as their comfort. Fear, on the other hand, holds men steady even when circumstances change. A man who fears punishment, who dreads the consequences of disobedience, will think twice before acting against his ruler. Fear does not depend on gratitude, or passion, or fortune. Fear endures because it lives in the heart of every man, unshaken by changing winds. This is why I say, a ruler secure in fear holds greater power than one who is merely adored. But understand me carefully. There is an art to fear. The ruler who inspires hatred will soon be destroyed, for hatred breeds conspiracies, rebellion, and vengeance. The wise ruler seeks fear without hatred. He must strike a balance, punishing when necessary, but cloaking it in justice. He must make men believe that his severity is not cruelty, but necessity. In this way, he maintains their obedience while avoiding their hatred. Men will respect him, even admire him, but they will not dare to cross him. Think of the father who disciplines his children. If he is too gentle, they grow unruly, thinking themselves above him. If he is too harsh, they hate him and secretly wish his downfall. But if he punishes wisely, sparingly, with purpose, he earns their respect. They may not love him, but they obey him. The same law applies to rulers and to power. History teaches this lesson with clarity. Empires built on love collapse quickly when fortune turns against them. Armies fight fiercely when they fear their commander more than the enemy. Subjects obey laws not because they love justice, but because they fear punishment. Even in the smallest matters of daily life, men act less from virtue and more from fear of consequence. It is fear that keeps order in the marketplace, fear that keeps soldiers in line, fear that keeps rivals from daring to strike. Without it, chaos reigns. And yet men will call fear cruel. They will say, "It is better to be loved." These are the words of the weak, the knave, those who wish to comfort themselves with dreams. But if you observe reality, not fantasy, you will see that men respect strength more than kindness. They admire the ruler who commands authority, even if they whisper of his severity. The generous ruler who relies on love will be devoured the moment he refuses to give. The firm ruler who relies on fear will be obeyed even when he takes away. Do not mistake this for a call to brutality. Brutality breeds hatred, and hatred is poison. What I teach is control. Use fear as the shepherd uses the staff, to guide and protect order, but always with restraint. Strike swiftly, decisively, and for purpose, not for pleasure. The ruler who kills or punishes for vanity breeds resentment. The ruler who punishes to maintain stability inspires obedience. Fear is strongest when it is precise. And what of love? Should a ruler ignore it completely? No, love is useful when fortune is kind. It makes men loyal when it costs them nothing. But it is fragile. When war, famine, or ambition rise, love will vanish like a shadow. If you rely on love alone, you will find yourself abandoned at the very moment you need loyalty most. A ruler must accept love when it comes, but he must never depend on it. His foundation must be fear. Think of it like this. Love binds men with threads of silk, easily broken. Fear binds them with chains of iron. The man who rules with love holds fragile power, always at risk of shattering. The man who rules with fear holds solid power, unbreakable and enduring. This is the harsh reality of human nature, and those who deny it are condemned to be ruled by those who understand it. There is no sin greater in the pursuit of power than weakness. To appear weak is to invite your enemies to strike, your allies to abandon you, and your followers to lose faith. The world is a battlefield, and on the battlefield, weakness is blood in the water. It calls the predators, it excites the wolves, it signals to all that you are prey. If you wish to rise, if you wish to remain in power, you must bury every trace of fragility. For the man who reveals weakness is already halfway to ruin. Understand that weakness takes many forms. It is not only the trembling hand or the cowardly retreat. Weakness is hesitation, when decisions must be swift. Weakness is mercy at the wrong time, when cruelty is necessary. Weakness is trust, given too freely, when vigilance is required. Weakness is the belief that others will protect you, that morality will shield you, that fortune will always smile. These illusions are the seeds of destruction. A man who clings to them is no ruler, but a lamb waiting for the slaughter. The enemies of the powerful are always watching, always probing for signs of frailty. Show them even the smallest crack, and they will widen it until you are broken. A ruler who hesitates for a moment in punishing betrayal will soon find betrayal multiplying. A commander who shows doubt before his soldiers will soon see his army lose faith. A leader who forgives a rival without eliminating him will soon see that rival return stronger and more determined. Weakness is never forgiven, it is exploited. Do not imagine that goodness protects the weak. History is littered with the graves of rulers who believed that kindness alone would secure loyalty. Their subjects adored them in times of plenty, but when hardship came, that adoration turned to contempt. The weak ruler inspires not respect, but pity, and pity quickly transforms into scorn. Better to be feared for strength than pitied for weakness, for pity invites challengers, while fear restrains them. The world rewards those who demonstrate strength even in cruelty. Think of the general who executes deserters to maintain discipline. Men call him harsh, but his army obeys, his battles are won, and his power grows. Now think of the general who forgives every fault, who pleads with his men instead of commanding them. At first, he is loved. Soon, he is ignored. Then, when the battle turns, he is abandoned. Which general survives? Which is remembered? The one who understood that weakness leads not to admiration, but to destruction. Even in the smallest affairs, weakness is fatal. Consider trust. To trust blindly is to hand another man the knife with which he may stab you. Yet how many rulers have fallen because they believed words instead of watching actions? Alliances are fragile, loyalty is conditional, promises are smoke in the wind. To survive, you must doubt even your closest ally, for today he may be your friend, but tomorrow he may see advantage in your downfall. Weakness lies in believing that loyalty is eternal. Strength lies in knowing that loyalty lasts only as long as it serves the other man's interest. Men despise weakness because it reminds them of their own. When they see you falter, they see a reflection of what they fear in themselves. And so they will not support you. They will not defend you. They will trample you, if only to reassure themselves of their own strength. This is why weakness is never forgiven in rulers, in generals, in leaders. Men expect strength from those above them. If they do not find it, they will turn against you. Do not be deceived by those who tell you that humility and submission are virtues in the pursuit of power. These are the lies told by the strong to keep the weak in chains. True power is not granted to the meek. It is taken by those who strike without hesitation, who show no softness when the moment calls for severity. To bend your back is to invite the yoke. To lower your head is to prepare for the blade. You must cultivate strength not only in action but in image. Appearances are as important as reality. Even if you doubt, show certainty. Even if you fear. Even if you suffer loss, show confidence. Men are guided by what they see, not what is true. If they see weakness, they will act as if you are finished, even if you still possess power. If they see strength, they will act with caution, even if your position is fragile. The mask of strength can protect you when true strength wavers, but the mask of weakness destroys you even when your foundation is solid. Remember this above all in the realm of power. Weakness is not met with compassion, but with aggression. It does not inspire protection, but predation. It is the one flaw a ruler can never display, for once it is revealed, the end begins. Those who rise to greatness are not always the wisest, nor the kindest, but they are always the strongest, or at least they appear to be. Those who fall are not always the worst, nor the most foolish, but they are the weakest, and weakness in this world has only one reward. So now you have seen the truth that men deny. Power is not given, it is seized. It is not maintained by honesty, but by deception. It is not secured by love, but by fear. And it is not lost to fate, but to weakness. These are the harsh rules that govern kings, generals, and men of ambition. They are not gentle, they are not merciful, and they are not forgiving, but they are real. If you wish to rise, you must strip away illusion and embrace reality as it is. Cast off the comfort of morality when it endangers you. Cast off the dream that men will reward your virtue. Understand instead the brutal logic of power. Those who dare deceive, command, and strike survive. Those who hesitate, reveal too much, trust too deeply, or show weakness are devoured. The world belongs not to those who hope, but to those who act. Not to those who beg, but to those who take. Not to those who cling to love, but to those who master fear. This has always been true, and it will always remain true. And so the choice falls to you. Will you live as the weak live, waiting, trusting, dreaming, and ultimately being crushed? Or will you live as the strong live, bold, cunning, feared, untouchable, rising above the herd and bending fortune to your will?